Hey everyone, Larissa here, just sharing a little bit about our focus of the month for meditation for February, which is the Bramivaharas. The Bramivaharas are 4 parts, which we'll get to in a moment, but first the word itself. The word Brahmavahara is part of the Buddhist psychology, but also of course a part of yoga, and it comes from the Sanskrit or the Pali. And the word itself is sometimes translated as the 4 immeasurables or the 4 faces of love. And when we pull it apart, the word itself, Brahma, a Brahman is somebody who is a divine being or a part of the divine. And then the second part, Vihara, is a dwelling, but it is a sacred dwelling. So when we put those together, it is really the divine dwelling place. So it's sometimes called the immeasurable dwellings. And really, they're called immeasurable oftentimes because these 4 parts, they're incredibly important parts of our yoga practice, the part of our yoga that we take into our regular life rather than the physical part on the mat. And they're qualities that we'll define in just a moment, but when they're put together, they're immeasurable in how important they are. They are part of what we sometimes call in our world today, soft skills, things like compassion. But to me, they're anything but soft. They're things that we can cultivate that make us really powerful and really resilient and really tender in that power. So different than like a power over, they really help us start to figure out, how do I care for myself? How do I care for others? So the 4 parts, and we'll go through them through the month of February, just 1 week at a time. The first one is loving kindness. And there's a particular loving kindness practice which we'll work with, but it really is the word metta in the original Sanskrit or Pali. It means active goodwill. So there's an action orientation. It isn't just sitting around being like, I would like to be more loving, although that's part of it. That's certainly most of our action starts in the mind. So we're working with the mind first in our meditation, but the idea is that it's active goodwill, and we give that goodwill to ourselves, we give that goodwill to others. That's really the foundation of the 4 Brahmaviharas, is goodwill, loving kindness. And then we move into 2 parts that kind of, I think of it almost like a scale. Loving kindness is the base, and then we work with both equanimity and reciprocal joy. Compassion and reciprocal joy. So equanimity is the post in the middle, which I'll come back to in a moment. And compassion is really when we're dealing with difficulty through ourselves or we're seeing other people suffering, we need to add more compassion. And when we're having a lot of joy in our lives, or our friends and family are receiving really great things in our lives, we're appreciating and reciprocating joy. So those are 2 parts that really go in balance with each other, trying to decide which one is going to be the most important part to work with. And then finally, we have equanimity. Equanimity, the word itself from the Latin root, means even-mindedness, equus aminus, but even-mindedness, especially in the face of stress. So we're really looking at this full, heartfelt look at how to create a little bit more powerful tenderness, loving joyfulness, and just bringing a little bit more ease and peace into our lives. So that's, again, kind of the tenets and the foundation of the Brahmaviharas. The concept is really important to understand, but perhaps even more important is to walk the bridge to practice, so that those concepts go from something that lives out here in the ether to something that we're actually practicing on a daily basis, and they start to become a part of us. So with that in mind, I'd love to invite you to come practice with us with our meditations in the morning. They're live and virtual. You can join us from anywhere in the world. And then we do have recordings like this on YouTube that you can come back to if you can't make those morning meditations. But just an invitation, join us, learn a little bit more of how to practice those things, not just have the concept of a nice idea, but bringing those qualities into your life on a regular basis. Join us if you can. And as always, if you have questions, please let us know.